Hey loves! So it's been a little minute since I've chatted with you all. I know that I have not been consistent with the videos on this channel, and partly the reason for that is I've just been putting a lot of energy into other projects that I really wanted to hit the ground running with in 2017. If you tuned into my, I think it was the goals you need to make, the types of goals you need to make in 2017. That was a video, and it was also a podcast. I had several career goals that I really wanted to get into. I wanted to launch a children's boutique, which is named after my daughter, Elle. I wanted to launch her boutique, and I actually launched her boutique this month. But of course, in preparation for getting to this point where the boutique is a thing, it required a lot of time, a lot of studying, a lot of research. I have no background in like running a fashion store. I know a little bit about creating an online website, the basics that I think anyone who has a blog would know. So the component of adding a store to a website was brand new for me. And I also wanted to launch my podcast, which I actually launched at the end of last year. But with having the podcast, it requires that I actually record and edit and produce podcast episodes. And with that came my desire to want to launch merchandise. So I actually have merchandise now for purchase. It's on JenellBStewart.com. It's a mug, and it says inhale confidence, exhale doubt. Oh, I have one here. I have one right there, but I'll show you this one. So this is the mug that I have, and I also have a pen that you see in this mug, and the pen says inhale confidence, exhale doubt. And I also have this journal. Let's see if I can get the whole thing in frame. I have this journal. It also has inhale confidence, exhale doubt. They're a whole set. So you can get them individually. You can get two, you can get three, all three. And I have a few pages that I've curated myself on the inside of the journal. And then there's blank pages for you to actually do the focus. What I talk about is the focus. So with that being said, you know, I've just been really busy. Outside of those goals, you guys know I have a job. My job is being the editor-in-chief of kinkycurlycoilyme.com. So I spend a majority of my time doing my work. That's my work. And then I launched my daughter's channel in the summer of last year, which is Elle Stewart on YouTube. So that takes a little bit of work as well. And we had a lot of sponsorships and partnerships on her channel that I needed to get out for the beginning of the year. So now that all of that has slowed down and I got everything launched and moving, I want you all to know that I've missed you a lot. I've really missed you a lot. And I've felt like I wanted to come back and I wanted to do more videos so many times. But as you can see, I've just had a lot on my plate. But I'm back, but I'll probably start coming out with videos every other week. So I think Tuesday might be a good day to get my videos up. So you can look out for your notifications on Tuesdays. If you're not a part of the notification squad, all you gotta do is click on the bell. And then every time I put up a video, you'll get a notification. I know most of you are a part of the notification squad, so thank you. But for those of you who are not, definitely sign up for the notifications. And if you do listen to podcasts and you didn't know I had one, or you have never listened to a podcast, please make mine the first one you listen to. So now that I got all that out of the way, I want to just come and I just want to talk to you guys about my veganism. A lot of people will ask me, are you still vegan? And the answer is yes, I'm still vegan. So if you were not around when I discussed like my whole transition to veganism, you have some videos that you can totally catch up on, especially now that my videos are not going to be as frequent as they used to be. You should totally catch up on those videos. So my journey, just really quick, I'll give you a little bit of background. You know, I love to tell stories. I started my vegan journey 9 years ago. I never intended to like go vegan, but I didn't want to eat meat. So when it all started 9 years ago, I went vegetarian. I was vegetarian for 4 years. And then when I got pregnant with my son, I went back to eating meat. After about a year postpartum, I went pescatarian. That's where you eat seafood and animal byproducts, but you don't eat meat. Well, you know, other meats. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, went back to eating meat again. Those darn babies. I was craving beef. So after my daughter, 2 years postpartum, I was ready to go back to being vegetarian. I knew that it was the best diet for me, and I wanted to do that. But then I started reading The 22-Day Revolution by Marco Borges. I have it here. It's up there. I'm not going to get it. It's up there. And I'll link that in the description box for you if you want to look at the book. I also have a video. I'll put it up here in an eye so you can click it. I also have a video with like different resources that I recommend for people who want to go vegan. When I read that book, I wasn't necessarily sold on going vegan for 22 days, but I was already at the point where I was ready to go vegetarian, and I thought to myself, let me see how many days I could eat as a vegan, even though my plan wasn't to go vegan. I just wanted to see how many days I could eat as a vegan. And that turned into I decided I was going to commit to being vegan. So as I'm talking to you right now, it is the last week of March, and I went vegan on December 16th of 2016. So my husband's vegan and my 2 children are vegan. We're all a vegan family. And my experience as a vegan has been one that has had some challenges, and it's also been not so difficult. I think the place that I'm in now as an adult who cooks her own meals, who buys her own food, who makes her own money, I'm in a position where being vegan isn't very difficult. Whereas when I was vegetarian, I was in college and obviously I wasn't working. Well, not enough to like go buy a whole bunch of my own food. So when I was in the cafeteria trying to eat as a vegetarian, I found that it was very easy to do so because the cafeteria offered a wide range of food options. But then when I would go home on breaks, you know, spring break and Christmas break and for the summer, it was impossible. My family's African. We eat every part of the animal, and we eat all of the animals in one pot. Like it's a United Nations of animals in the pot. My husband's from the Caribbean, and I noticed that they only eat one meat. They eat mono meat meals. So if you're eating chicken, it's just curry chicken, or it's just stewed chicken, or oxtails, or beef. In my family and my culture in Liberia, we eat everything. We're going to have turkey in there. We're going to have pork in there. We'll have pig feet, chicken feet. We'll have fish, shrimp, chicken, beef, all of that in one meal. Like it's really, that's how we eat. So it was very difficult to go home and know like, how do I navigate this? But as an adult now, who's cooking her own meals and buying her own food and making her own money, like I said, it's very different for me. It's so much easier because I can control that. Additionally, my transition has been so long, 9 years, that I've really learned the ins and outs of eating no meat. So the veganism was just a new layer added on top of that, because obviously if you've eaten no meat for, 4 years and then in and out of eating meat and then no meat, you kind of have your bearings, like you get it. But veganism adds a whole new challenge on top of that, because now you go from, I can pick up anything that obviously isn't like literally chicken or beef or pork or turkey or whatever, to now this item may contain these things in it. So now you got to read all these package labels and so on. And a lot of things that you think would not be vegan oftentimes do have milk in them. And a lot of the things that you would look at and say, oh, that's definitely going to be vegan, they're not. There's lots of soups that they use chicken broth in. There's vegetable soups. There's lots of vegetable soups that they use chicken broth in. There's pasta sauces and items that you'll find that are clearly vegetable packaged items, but they contain dairy. And that happens a lot. So because of that reason, veganism is a new layer of difficulty on a very restricted diet. But the mindset that my husband, my children, and I have had is eat abundantly and stop thinking about all of the things you can't eat and think about all of the things you can eat. Don't think about that food item that you can't eat anymore. Think about how you can eat all of these other things here, and you make a list of the things you can eat and you eat those things instead of worrying about what you can. Now, have we been the perfect vegans? Like, have we not ever eaten anything non-vegan? No. I keep it real with you guys. I do not like to come on YouTube pretending to be someone that I'm not, pretending to do things that I'm not. You can see from my What I Eat in a Day videos that I eat. Like, it's whatever. I don't care if people feel like there's a certain way to live as a vegan. The diet already requires you to eliminate a lot of food items from your diet. So I'm going to enjoy the foods that I can eat. And so with that being said, no, we haven't been the perfect vegans. There's been times we've bought things that contain dairy or they contain broth, like I was saying, chicken broth. That has happened. I remember making a video about why I hate being vegan, and I talked about the family members and things that they say. You know, that sometimes can be difficult to deal with. I also talked about in that video, I talked about going to, I think it was McDonald's for French fries, and how I hated the fact that, you know, food restaurants don't always make it really convenient for you to be vegan because they're so limited on what they can have. And a lot of people told me that at Burger King, the burgers are not vegan because they use a Morningstar patty, and the Morningstar patty has milk and egg. So that's happened many times where we went to Burger King and we ate the Morningstar burger meal because we needed to eat something. And had we had another option, we wouldn't have. Same thing with the fries. When we're on the road and we just got to grab something real quick, we'll grab McDonald's fries. And I understand that McDonald's fries are not made, the concern there is the oil. Like they fry the meat and the fries in the same oil, so the oil is not vegan oil. Like that kind of stuff, I'm just not there yet. And that's part of why they call, you know, transitioning to veganism a process, because I'm just not there yet. Like when I hear people say things like, well, the oil is made with meat, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, is it that serious? But I think for some people, depending on where you are on your vegan experience, yes, it's that serious. But to me, it's not. When I've traveled, oftentimes I take the plane, and I've been able to identify vegan options in the airport because I usually fly Delta or JetBlue, and I'm very familiar with the terminals, and the terminals offer food items that I can buy that are vegan. And if you follow me on my Insta stories on Instagram, you've definitely seen those Insta stories when I travel. Additionally, when I get to hotels, it's often later in the evening, and sometimes I have to order sides off the menu because everything on the menu, nothing's vegan. Not one vegan thing on the menu except for like salad. So actually this happened to me recently. I was in Raleigh. I was there for an event. I had the opportunity, the privilege to interview Gabrielle Douglas, the Olympic gold medalist. And like I said, the hotel restaurant offered no vegan options. Nothing on the menu was vegan except for the salad. So I looked at the sides menu, and they had mashed potatoes and they had green beans. So I ordered those. Most likely, I'm going to say that I would be lying to myself if I thought that those mashed potatoes were made with almond milk and vegan butter. I'd be lying to myself. Lying. But that's what I ordered. Just came off of a flight, you know, from here to Raleigh. Hadn't eaten since, you know, I left. And I'm at a hotel. It's late at night and I need to eat. And I ordered that. And it was the lesser of the two options. The lesser of evils. Order something that's clearly not vegan, like pizza. I wasn't going to go as far as eating meat. That wasn't going to happen. So I wasn't going to order like a meat dish, you know, chicken with blah, blah, blah. That wasn't going to happen. But I felt like mashed potatoes and green beans were the lesser of evils given my limited choices. And I actually had that 2 nights. And it was the cheapest meal ever because I think the side dishes were like $3 or $4. So for $8, I got a good meal. And also I think the other area where we struggle with our veganism is cake. Do not invite me to your birthday party. Do not. Because I am going to eat the cake. Okay? I'm not even joking. Like, when we go and we get cake, we'll go to the vegan bakery. And we are so lucky that we have a vegan bakery within a 15-minute drive from our house. So we'll go there and we'll get cake. For my birthday, we ordered a cake. My husband went and got a vegan cake for me. And there's a spot in Rhode Island. If you live in Long Island, the place I'm talking about is called Bare Naked. And we go to Rhode Island to visit my mom, and every time we go there, there's this wonderful, wonderful bakery and juicery called Wildflower, and I love them. They're in Rhode Island in the Pawtucket area. And so when we went for my husband's birthday last year, we ordered a cake from there, and it's delicious. So we make an effort that if we're going to eat cake, we will go and we will get a vegan cake. However, if you invite me to your party, your birthday party, your baby's christening, your baptism party, you invite me to your anniversary party, to your wedding, wherever you invite me, I am going to eat the cake. I just can't kick it. That's the one thing that I have just not been able to kick. I cannot kick the cake. I don't eat cake any other time but for celebration purposes. But if you invite me to your party, I'm going to eat the cake. So I'm still not there with that, with the cake. But it happens so infrequent that, you know, I don't really have to get into it too much, but it's definitely a struggle for me. People often ask me, like, do you miss meat? The answer is yes. There's one meat in particular that I think I miss the most, and it's oxtail. There's a Jamaican restaurant around the corner from where I live now, in Long Island, and their oxtails were so good. Now, I didn't know about oxtail until I met my husband. We've been together for 12 years, so it's been a long time. But prior to that, I'd never heard about oxtail. We don't eat that in Africa. Liberia. We don't eat that in Liberia. Or my family. My community doesn't eat that. And my husband introduced me to oxtail. It was like, where's this been all my life? And I would often order that as a meal option when we would go to the West Indian restaurants. And so when we moved around a corner from one, it was a very, it's like how people order Chinese maybe once a week, or maybe your thing isn't Chinese, but maybe your thing is you hit up McDonald's every now and then, like that's your little cheat day or whatever. For me, it was the oxtails. Like every single Friday, we would get oxtail. That was my thing. And I love the way it tastes. It's one of the fattiest parts of the ox, but it was so good. That's the one meat that I miss. And I think the second thing I miss is cheese pizza. Now, I think everybody loves pizza. Like, I don't know anybody that can say that. I've never met anybody that would say I don't like pizza. But if you live in New York pizza is, it is just so good. So delicious. So for me, I 100% miss being able to enjoy and partake in New York pizza. I don't think I care too much about just having like Domino's or whatever, Papa John's. Those are great, Pizza Hut, those are great, but New York pizza, like a mom and pop pizzeria where the slices are like the size of your head, like this, that's the type of pizza that I really, really, really miss. And as a vegan, I do eat pizza. You know, we've called Domino's, their crust is vegan, and we've ordered pizza with sauce and veggies. And we also buy Amy's roasted vegetable pizza, which is delicious and I love it, but it just doesn't compare to regular pizza. And that's just the honesty of the situation. Have I ever slipped up and eaten meat? No, I don't. I should also mention that in terms of my veganism and where I'm at with it, like when I go to family functions, for example, I don't know if I talked about this. No, last year my father passed away. I did talk about that. But like at the reception, they're making all of our cultural Liberian dishes. They're clearly, everything is going to be made with meat because we put meat in everything. We put meat in, we have a dish called jollof rice. It's very popular amongst all African countries. Every country has jollof rice, but Liberian jollof is the best. And we put meats in there. So we had the jollof rice. What did we do? We took the meat out and we just put it to the side of the plate. One of my favorite dishes is called potato greens. It's when you take the greens of the potatoes, the potato stems, you take those greens, the leaves of the potatoes, and you cook them. It's the most delicious dish ever that we make. And of course they made it with meat. So what do? I take the meat out. I try to take as much of the potato greens with my rice without any meat. But if I find a piece of meat in my food, I just push it to the side. So I know that there's going to be controversy on that because clearly if you're eating a dish that was made with meats in it, you're technically not eating a vegan dish. I know, like, I'm not unaware of it. So I know, and I foresee in the comments that some of what I'm saying, people are going to feel compelled, like they're not going to be able to control themselves. They're going to want to type so quickly about how unvegan I am, and I'm a fraud, and I can just imagine what my comment section is going to look like. But to everyone else who can just get past that, I think what you should recognize is, one, I already know. I'm already aware. I'm not ignorant. I'm not naive. I'm not pretending that I don't know that I'm not eating vegan things all the time. I'm also not lying. I'm not coming on here to pretend like I've been the perfect vegan and I've just been like an angel vegan and I've never made a mistake. I'm also not pretending that when I eat the dishes that are made with meat from my family's functions, I'm not pretending that I didn't know that they weren't vegan. I'm not pretending that it was a mistake, like, oh, I didn't know there was meat in there. I'm not pretending. I'm being honest. I'm being 100% honest. I didn't have to tell you that I was eating cake. You wouldn't have known. I don't have to tell you I eat cake. I'm telling you this because I know that there's somebody out there who's trying to be a vegan, who's in this period of I'm figuring it out, and they're making mistakes. And after they make those mistakes, they just feel like, well, forget it. I got to give up because I'm not doing it right. I can't do it right. And I want you to know that that's not reality. The whole point of transitioning into a lifestyle is you learn as you go. And maybe it might take me 10 years before I can finally say, you know what? Y'all are my family, and I know when I come to your parties and I come to your event that you're not going to have food for me, so I'm not coming. Maybe I might say that one day. I doubt it, but I'm just saying maybe I might say that. Or maybe it will get to the point where my family recognizes that, you know, when Princess, which is my nickname, my family calls me Princess, Princess and her family are coming, let's try to make a dish for her that's not. I can obviously request that if I wanted to, but it's not the time or place all the time. And if you're wondering, well, why don't you just bring your own dishes? Like I said, I was at my dad's funeral reception. It's not appropriate. Like, that's the farthest thing from my brain that I'm thinking about. When I do go to families' houses and I know like this is a dinner party or I'm going to be here for a while, I pack everything. My family will tell you, Princess comes with everything. I bring everything. I bring like 3 snacks for each of my children, 3 snacks each for both of my children. I bring meals. We carry our Tupperware bowls, all of our food, because we're just coming to chill. We're just coming to chill. So we come with everything we need. Drinks, snacks, food, you name it. You name it. I got drinks, snacks, food. I bring it all. So that's not even like a thing. And I sometimes just hate that. I just hate that people feel like they have to be perfect. I think for me, like, I don't feel like I have to be perfect. So that's probably another reason why this doesn't feel so difficult for me, is because I'm not trying to be the perfect vegan. And I don't want you to be the perfect vegan either. I talk about this in my workbook. If you didn't know, I have a Healthy Living Series workbook where I talk very in depth about a plant-based diet. It's available on my website, JenellBStewart.com. And I talk about taking it like in steps, taking it little by little. You don't need to come out the gate being the perfect vegan. If you slip up and you eat meat, you slip up and you eat meat, and you eat the next meal vegan, and you work on every meal after that being vegan. And if every meal after that is not vegan and you slip up, you continue on. I think for me, I don't go out and buy meat. And not everybody is an ethical vegan. Let me just put it out there as well. Not everybody is an ethical vegan and is concerned about animal rights. And I think I don't want to put out a blanket generalization and say that most black people who go vegan don't do it for animals. So I'm going to just talk about me, but catch this tea. Our black family, we did not go vegan for the animals. While I respect the activism that a lot of people have for animals. In fact, it wasn't until I went vegan and started watching vegan videos that I learned about how important the animal activism is, because I watched a documentary and I also have seen a lot of people on YouTube that are vegan, are animal activists. But that is not as important to me. It's important to me, and I do talk about it with my kids. I don't want you to think it's not important. It's just not as important as what eating animals does for my body. I recognize that slaughtering animals and killing them and raping them for us to eat and consume is not okay. I don't like it. When I watch the videos of the slaughterhouses, it makes me cringe. Sorry, my camera died, or my memory card got filled. But basically I was saying the animals. So if it was just about like animal cruelty and animal rights and animal activism, I don't know if I would be vegan, because it's not in a world that I've been exposed to at all. However, I do understand the value in eating plant-based foods. I do understand the value in refraining from meat and what that does to our body, and over time how that affects our health. I do understand that, and I can relate to that a lot more than I can to the animals, even though I truly just don't believe that what animals go through, they should go through. I don't. And that's just my honest opinion. And I would appreciate if you would definitely share with me what you think without being disrespectful or, you know, attacking me for my views at the moment. Because views change all the time. I never thought there would be a day that I would not be eating meat. As much as I loved me some chicken, I never thought that there would be a day that I would not be eating meat. And look, here it is today. And you never know, maybe in like 10 years, I might be out there protesting about the animals. I have no clue where my life is going to be in, you know, in the future. However, I can say that a majority of people out there who may be watching this video, I am hoping that you are able to relate from my vegan experience and able to see and realize that you don't have to be perfect at it. Every day is a new day for you to do better and for you to make better decisions, but there's never going to be a time where you're perfect. You're never going to be perfect. Ever at anything you do. And you may be the type of vegan who clearly never eats anything that's not vegan. You've never had to be put in a jeopardizing situation. And if you have to choose between eating something that was made with butter and milk or eating nothing, you choose nothing, then more power to you. But I am just not there yet. And I would never, ever starve myself because of that. Never. So yeah, so am I still vegan? Yes, I am. You can clearly see that I'm transitioning still. I'm in a place where I'm learning and I'm making mistakes, and I am still not 100% there with certain aspects of the vegan diet. But for the most part, I love being vegan. I shared an article on JenellBStewart.com of my children's favorite vegan snacks. I interviewed my kids and I asked them what their favorite snacks were, and they told me. And my kids are loving being vegan. We've had very little instances where there's pushback. For example, when we go to church, they often give the kids the cheddar goldfish. Kids love them. They also make them in pretzel form, but they don't always have them in pretzel form. And I think most people just naturally pick up the cheddar ones because that's what we know the goldfish for. They're called goldfish and they were cheddar, and it worked out. The colors, you get it? So anyway, my kids will be at Sunday school and they'll only have goldfish. And they know they can't eat it. And my son will remind my daughter, can't eat that. Or she'll remind her brother, you can't eat that. And they won't eat it. And nobody cries. Nobody cries. I always have snacks for them so they know mommy has some, you know, snacks for them. We always have fruit for them. They love fruit. My daughter eats fruit every day. My son eats fruit every day, 2 to 3 servings. Maybe it'll be bananas, a banana and oranges, or just oranges, or mangoes, mango and orange. Like, we always have fruit. Strawberries, watermelon, they love them all. So they Love being vegan. We've found so many different places where we can go and eat and customize the menu or veganize the menu. We love Thai places because Thai is very vegan friendly. Most of the curries are made with coconut milk. They offer vegetable or tofu with every option that they make. So we really, really enjoy Thai food. We enjoy Indian food. And when we have to go to traditional family restaurants, we figure it out. What can we do? Can we get this with this or not with that? And we make it work. And we've been really enjoying being vegans. We've really have benefited from the health benefits. I mean, being sick is not really a thing for us. Of course, my kids get cold here and there. They're in school with other children who, you know, they get sick, but like not really. Our health is great. And our bodies are great. My skin is great. My weight is great. So I really, really do enjoy it. So if you have been vegan for a year or less, I would love to hear what are some of your challenges. And even if you've been vegan for longer, I would love to just hear the honesty of what some of your challenges are. I can't imagine that I'm the only person who is vegan or transitioning to vegan who still struggles with making certain food choices. I can't believe that that would be me. So I would love for you to share with me what are some of the issues and areas that you struggled with. And I would love to hear, how long have you been vegan? I would love to know if you've been vegan for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 30, whatever it may be. I would love to know that. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them, because I'm looking for questions for my Ask Jenell series. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And as always, I love you for watching. Bye.